to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 16. This is day 1, and our sketch, if I can find it on my mess here, was created by Lisa Brooks. I will have her information listed below for you, so please make sure that you look up her social media. And it looks like I've lost it. That doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. An I'll have it out and I'll put it up in the corner for you in a little bit. It really reminds me of an Allison Davis or Debbie Sanders sketch from Scrapbook Generation. Those are some of my absolute favorite sketches. It's got lots of banners on it, all the way across. Aha, here it is. Anyway, it's got banners and looks like stitching and just some embellishment clusters. It's relatively a simple sketch. I have my October counterfeit kit here and some photos of my children on a hayride that we took back in August or September of 2016. So I have kind of a mishmash of stuff here from my counterfeit kit. I did pull out the 6x6 papers and scraps that I had placed into my kit for this month. I kind of did that for Mad About Mini Paper Pad series at the end of October, but they're going to come in handy here, so maybe I'll have, if I use them all, I may have to do something else with those for that hop. Anyways, I'm going to pause. We're going to get started with this. I do have a banner punch that I'm going to bring in for these banners, and I will be right back. All right, I cut the wood grain pattern paper in half. And I'm going to put the 6x12 piece on the left-hand side. And then I cut down the other 6x12 piece into a smaller bit. Now on her layout, on her right-hand side, her photos were a different size than mine are because my photos were taken in portrait. I ended up cutting them down to 4x4 instead of having the 6x4 layouts down that center towards the left-hand side of the right page. And so, as you will also notice, I have more photos of my daughter on this hayride than I do of my son. I'm not sure why that is. It's possible that he put his hand in front of my phone and asked me not to take any, but I got one really good one of him, and the rest of them are of Emily giggling her little head off, probably because her daddy, who is sitting next to her on this hayride, is aggravating her and messing around with her. Because she is giggling and I can see his hands next to her shoulder and she's kind of looking over at him. I also didn't get any photos of him, so what I'm doing next is I'm kind of giving myself an idea of which one of these pieces I need to use. I am using my Omnigrid ruler to make sure that I get this on here evenly, otherwise this would end up very crooked. I love this tool for getting things even on my layouts. As far as I'm concerned, it works the best for me. And so that pretty much gets all of the base part of this layout down. I did have to take the washi tape off the center, and then I'm going to come back on here in a second. All right, I want to check in with you really quick. I have cut my banner pieces out. And what I did is I counted the number of banners that there were on the left-hand side, since my left-hand side is pretty much identical to hers. And there are 9. I cut 1-inch strips. The strips were 1 inch by 3 inches. And then I used my banner punch here on all of them. And then if you will notice in the sketch, the top set of banners are slightly shorter, so after I cut them 1x3 and punched the banner, I used a trimmer and I cut each piece 1.5 inches all the way across. Because my second side is a little bit different than Lisa's sketch, because my photos in the center are not 6x4, they're 4x4, and that's just because I'm using what I have printed already. I needed to have a little bit more pieces here. So I ended up, instead of 4 pieces, I have 6 on each side, down on this side. And again, each piece is, they were cut 1x3. I trimmed the, or I punched the banner, and then I trimmed it down to 1.5 inches. From the point to the base is 1.5 inches on each. And so my next step is to sit here and glue these all down and do the stitching. So I'm not going to do that on camera, which is why I'm stepping in to touch base with you, because I wanted you to know what was next. So when I come back to embellish and add a title, these will be glued down and there will be stitching on them. So I'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to pop back in here for a second again. I did not glue down the banners yet. I went ahead and thought I would show you how I do this. Because I want to make them even, I glued down the bottom row and then glued down the top row. And of course, with wet glue, I'm having a little bit of moving, but I'm using the OmniGrid to make sure that each one of these is absolutely even. And that way, when I go to stitch, my lines look straight, my banners look straight, and everything looks just the way that I would like it to look. So I did try to make sure I alternated all of the colors and everything, and that makes sure that everything looks great. I also wanted to mention that I had said that I used a 6x12 piece of the wood grain on that left side. It is actually 6x11 and not 6x12, and that's because there's a blank border on each side. And of course, I'm gluing down all of the rest as well. You all have to excuse the crashing in the background. That would be Phineas, my new kitten, jumping in a box full of paper, making all that racket. Anyway, so I'm going to do the same thing with the second side. I glued down the bottoms first, kind of made sure that they were spaced out about evenly. I did just guess on those. And now I'm going to line up that OmniGrid and do exactly the same thing that I did on the other side. I'll line it up against one side of that banner. I'll put some glue on the back of the banner, and then I'll butt it up against the OmniGrid ruler, and then I'll continue to do that all the way across. This makes for an easy way to line up things, and I find the OmniGrid ruler much easier than a T-square for me. This works easy, and I love that, of course, I can see the full 6x12 section of it, so I can see what is happening underneath, and that gives me enough space and a visible area for me to work with. I am finding that I am picking up this OmniGrid ruler more and more. Anyway, as I place this last one, I'm going to be about done here. Alright, I got all the stitching done. I did do a stitched border around the wood grain piece, just like it shows on the sketch, and then I stitched all of those banners. And of course, I have way more help today than I really wanted. Phineas thinks that it is fun to come and sit and help me peel off stickers and sit on my pages and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and add my title here at the bottom. Now on the sketch, she has an embellishment cluster to the left bottom of the sketch, right where I'm sticking my title, and she has the second embellishment cluster up on the right hand page at the top. And because my title is so much longer and I didn't want to cover up all of my stitching, I went ahead and swapped out where those embellishment clusters go. But my title says, "Here we go on a hayride." I've been trying to use up that last little bit of those thickers phrases. I think those are either Dear Lizzie or Amy Tangerine. I'm not positive which. So I've pulled out the wood veneer that I had in my October counterfeit kit. They actually came from a fall hip kit, and they've just been kind of hanging around. I have used up almost all of the paper from that kit, so I have a ton of embellishments left. And I put those wood veneer pieces in my counterfeit kit for October. I added some journaling on my layout, and I added that wood veneer that says fun, something else that I have been working really hard to find a place to put on a layout, and I was really grateful that I was able to get it on here. I'm adding these puffy white hearts by Freckled Fawn. I don't think these were in my October kit, but they work. All right, I got my layout completely finished. I got my title on here and the floral clusters here and here, journaling, and some of those little tiny puffy white hearts from Freckled Fawn. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to comment, like, and or subscribe to my channel. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe. I do interact with my subscribers, so if you have a question or a comment about this layout, just drop them below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. There is a playlist for 30 Days of Sketches Series 16. I want to thank Lisa Brooks for a gorgeous sketch to work with. I really love how this turned out, and I hope that you guys will check out to see what other ladies are doing with this sketch. Do remember that this month, all of the sketches are 2 pages, and I think I will manage to do all of them as 2 pages. I've saved a bunch of 2-page layouts that I have planned, so hopefully I'll get all of those 2-page layouts complete and into my 2016 family album. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.